thing about these older conservatives that are consuming Fox News and they're being lied to is that they genuinely don't know what's going on. And I don't want to use that as like a cop out of like, oh, they don't even know, because half the time they like the cruel things that everybody's like, do they not realize that this administration is racist? Or do they not realize that this administration is hurting the poor? They know that. They know that, and they agree with it, and they want it to happen. But there's other things that they genuinely just don't realize are happening. They don't know. I was on the phone with my grandmother, and I was telling her, I was trying to calmly explain to her things so that she would like listen, and that it wasn't an argument, it was like a conversation to try to get through to her. And I explained, I was like, Donald Trump tore down, demolished the entire east wing of the White House. I was like, do you understand? I was like, that is American. Even like the Kennedy administration, when they wanted to remodel, the White House, they were going to tear down some walls to like re-put them up because the structure overall of the building just wasn't great. So they wanted it to stand the test of time, but they knew that Americans valued the history that the White House had behind it. So even then, they did not tear down those walls. They made an extra effort to build around it just to solidify the structure of that building because they knew the history of it. I told my grandmother, he has demolished the East Wing. It is no longer there. She goes, he's remodeling. Since when in the hell is demolishing and completely getting rid of a building remodeling? I told her no.
It's not being funded by taxpayers, it's being funded by donors, and he is remodeling. So it sounds like your grandmother was actually right. And what does that have to do with the price of tea of China? What does that have to do with the fact that he is restoring American values, that he is forcing people to acknowledge the flag? I just seen a video, I think it was over in Russia or it was somewhere else, where they forced, like the people in the audience got pissed and grabbed the dude and forced him to stand up for whatever their national anthem is. We have been taken over by illegal migrants. We do have New York City, where a person that wasn't even born in the United States of America, that is a admitted socialist, never had a job in his life, ran as a Democrat and won the mayor of New York City. We are overtaxed. We don't really understand exactly what it takes in order to be successful as a country anymore. We gave our country to other countries and allowed for them to take advantage of us from a financial perspective. And now that we're taxing them and we're putting tariffs on them, and there is so many people that are taking advantage of and illegally taking advantage of food stamps, where's the off part about Trump? I'm still trying to understand what y'all don't like about him. Because again, y'all tried to make it seem like he was racist, but we already know that he wasn't, and that was a marketing campaign by Democrats in order to try to sway you, because prior to 2016, nobody said that Trump was racist. The fact that he was great friends with the very people that tried to label him as racist today because they are on a political divide shows you that this is just theater from Democrats to maintain power, and they'll throw their friends under the bus that wasn't supposedly racist before, but now is all of a sudden racist now. Now let me be clear. I like to source from all sorts of media. I look at liberal news, I look at conservative news, I look at Fox, I look at MSNBC, I look at ABC and CNN, right? And then I look at all of the local news, and then I also tap into all of the people that are on the ground and the vloggers and stuff like that. And I get on the ground myself, and I'm able to make an informed decision. And while I understand that Fox News is a company that is looking to generate profits, and so is MSNBC and every other network and every other vlogger, the fact of the matter is they're more right than they are wrong. And I've even had some problems with some stuff that Fox News posted. Hell, I've been on Fox News multiple different times, but the fact of the matter is they're more accurate than not, especially when it comes to differentiating the difference between their opinion and reporting what's really real out there. And so what these young people need to do is also take into consideration why their parents and their grandparents are conservative, because we've lost our way as a country. And maybe these young people just don't even understand how great we really had it, but we're throwing it away and we're overtaxing people. And because you are not the person that got to give as much of your money in order to do so, you feel like it's okay to be able to give somebody else's money away, even though they've got it the right way and they've actually added value and they build jobs, but then you'll complain if they decide that they want to lay people off and don't want to give you a job.
Oh, it's gone. She was like, no. Look! Like, look! Like, it's gone. Like, it's literally, it's gone. And the entire oversight team that he had on it, he fired them. Last minute, he fired them. She goes, well, why would he fire them? You tell me. You tell me. And then I was telling her about the ICE raids and the excessive force and, like, the way that these people are being brutalized by ICE agents and how it's, like, only a very small percent are, like, actually any type of, like, real criminals, and how, like American citizens, like, people with valid papers and everything, like, they're being, like, detained and, like, brutalized. And she just, like, didn't know. And I told her about the White House video that was posted by the White House of the ICE raids, and how the first clip of that was an ICE agent throwing up the Roman salute. It was the first clip,
brother.
Clear as day. Like, I'm not going to mimic it.
I'm telling you, bro, Democrats have more propaganda and is more easily swayed than any Republican that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's crazy, bro.
He fully did it. That wasn't even something that, like, you could, like, misinterpret. Like, oh, he was actually, like, it wasn't like the Elon thing where somebody could be like, oh, well, he actually was doing. No, he fully, like, did it. I told her about that. She was like, what? No. She's like, can you send it to me? Yeah, gladly. I will. This is what's happening. And what's so sad about it, too, is that, like, I'll talk to her. Like, you know, you talk to these old conservatives sometimes, and, like, they'll agree with you. Like, if you tell them, like, yeah, the billionaires shouldn't get tax cuts. They don't need it. And, like, that money should be going to the working class and, like, the Americans. And, you know, we shouldn't be stopping SNAP benefits, because at the end of the day, no matter how you look at SNAP benefits, anything, even if you're, like, one of those people that's like, oh, they need to get a job. Well, they have their, like, food stamps taken away from them unexpectedly. So now these families...
It's not theirs. It's not supposed to be something that you live off of for the rest of your life. And let's be clear, the amount that anybody is getting taxed in this country is crazy. And so it's not giving tax cuts to the billionaires. It's giving tax cuts to people, because we're being overly taxed, and we're basically becoming a socialist country, to where we basically taking from anybody and everybody in order to give it out to people that's using it illegally and using it for fraud, because the majority of food stamps is fraud. That is a fact. That is not my opinion. There are so many people that is finessing on food stamps. We know them. We see them. I grew up looking at them going to the store and selling their food stamps for 50 cents on the dollar so that they can go and get their hair and their nails done.
Families are going to starve. Children are going to starve.
Nobody
They're
is
not going to have food. Do you know what happens when people don't get food?
Nobody is starving. Nobody.
They get mad, and they will do anything they need to do to get food for them, and especially their children. And, like,
these are the type of people that got Mom Donnie elected.
And she's agreeing with me. She's like, yeah, it's horrible. Like, it's horrible. Where the cognitive dissonance here is crazy. Like, so like, oh, it is so infuriating. Because it's like you try to get through to them and they just don't know things. They don't see things. And then they call you crazy. And it's like, please, like, look stuff up. Seek out information. Stop getting news from Fox News. Matter of fact, like, even if somebody's getting news from CNN, stop getting news from CNN. Fox News is inherently worse. Didn't they literally just get sued or something? I don't know. It's all so much misinformation. Like, it's so frustrating. Because it's like, it's my family members. It's my family members. And I want y'all to understand. Like, I want them to understand so bad. And it's like, you just, like, there's no getting through. There's just so much blocks on blocks on blocks on blocks of just misinformation and brainwashing and just bigotry that's being fed to them. And it just...
Well, the fact of the matter is that, again, you can believe what you want to believe, but just because somebody doesn't believe the way that you believe doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that y'all got two different opinions. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T-Chanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.